Hey Mad Family, here's the Suncorp Home Loan Review. Just recently, Suncorp waived their annual package fee. This can save potentially lendees over $10,000 through the entire life of the loan. But does Suncorp as a lender suit you? Let's find out together. We'll be covering Suncorp's policy information, who they're best for and who they aren't for, special offers, unique product features, and I'll be testing their customer service live. We are not paid to do these reviews. These are our honest opinions and stories. Let's get into it. Suncorp's average approval time varies, quite a lot actually. It can be anywhere from 1 day to 2 weeks. So this is because they prioritize purchases. So if you're getting a refinance or pre-approval, you may wait a little bit longer. Refinances, there's no deadline, so there's no real push to get it across the line. And for pre-approvals, they actually don't fully assess them. But we'll go in depth a little bit later on in relation to pre-approvals. So what about special offers? So Suncorp offer a $3,000 or $4,000 refinance rebate on a home depending on the loan amount. The big downside is you need a minimum $750,000 loan to get this $3,000 rebate. This is really high, especially considering this is for refinancing. But there is a positive. They offer this cash back with a 90% LVR, which is pretty generous considering many banks like ANZ offer a cash back with max 80% LVR to be eligible for their $4,000 rebate. If your total lending is more than $1 million, you're actually eligible for a $4,000 rebate. Another nifty bonus is Suncorp's Solar Home Bonus, which is basically a free $3,000 right in your pocket if you purchase a home with a solar panel already installed. They are the only lender that offers a cashback based on solar. Now, another offer that looks good is Suncorp's Green Upgrade Loan. This is basically a discounted variable loan to implement upgrades on your house, such as solar panels, solar hot water systems, and more. Now, while this is a decent discount, we reviewed CommBanks last week who also offered a green loan, but this is a 1% fixed rate with no early repayment fees. This is arguably much better. So if a green loan is something that you're looking for, make sure to watch that video. We'll link it at the end of this video or find it in the description below. So moving on, what about Suncorp's lending policy? One of the better features of Suncorp's policy, if you salary sacrifice, they will count that income as tax-free, which allows for a slightly more generous lending capacity. Whereas other lenders do not input that benefit of being tax-free, which potentially lowers that borrowing capacity. Another great thing about Suncorp is their LMI. Generally speaking, they quite often have some of the cheapest lender mortgage insurance premiums. And even in that LMI territory, their pricing or their interest rates are actually quite competitive. But there are some not so great features about Suncorp. They are risk averse. They're not chasing high risk lending. Their high risk would include things like having a high loan to value ratio, or even being self-employed. They have a debt to income ratio limit of 6. So for example, if you're earning $100,000 a year, Suncorp will only want to lend up to about $600,000. We've only seen this limit pushed once in the last year, which was very difficult to get over the line. With guarantor loans, they do allow them, but the requirements to satisfy are far more stringent and usually not worth investigating in the first place because they do a full assessment on guarantors. They want to look at assets, liabilities, income. They want to make sure that the parents are still working, whereas other lenders are a little bit more lenient, such as CBA, ANZ, and Westpac. They don't really need to look too deep into the guarantor situation because they are security guarantors. That's the most important thing, ensuring that the guarantors do have equity in their property. They are not servicing guarantors to help service the debt. So a little bit different. And I'm lucky enough that I haven't gone through the experience of a guarantor loan. It's not something that our Suncorp state manager recommends for us to give it a crack because they have other sort of lending that they are focused on. So what about Suncorp's product features? Well, Suncorp allows you to open up to 9 whopping offset accounts, where a lot of the other major lenders only allow you to have just 1. This is part of Suncorp's premium package, the Home Package Plus product, which will typically cost you about $375 annually in fees to have these benefits. So they are saying for a limited time only, they will be offering their premium loan package for free with a few specific conditions. This can save you over $10,000 over the life of the loan. So I think it's a beautiful benefit, especially having those multiple offset accounts for budgeting purposes. So in regards to policy, there are a few things that aren't great about Suncorp. Even though their LMI is cheap, they don't offer any waivers compared to CBA or Westpac. They are better loan options for people who are self-employed, and Suncorp doesn't participate in any first-time home buyer schemes. But one of the biggest warnings with Suncorp, they don't fully assess pre-approvals. and this could leave you in a very expensive situation if you've committed to purchasing a house. They have an automated process which will either not approve you or give you a piece of paper that shows that you are pre-approved, but they have not fully assessed it. So that means that physically a person has not picked up your documentation to run through everything and tick it all off to ensure that you are auction ready or you can put an offer on a property. So when you are actually ready to purchase a property and you have signed a contract to sale and it is crunch time, that's when they start running around and collecting the required documentation back and forth to try and get you approved. So basically this means that your pre-approval is just a piece of paper with them. It means nothing. So if you are looking to purchase a property and really want that comfort that you are pre-approved, then I would suggest potentially going through a bank that does fully assess. But if you are in a really good situation with no issues in terms of deposit or income, then Suncorp could still potentially be the lender for you, even if you are purchasing. So what about Suncorp's service? Based on our clients' feedback, their online service isn't as good as other lenders like Macquarie or CBA. We have seen customers give up on cheaper rates from Suncorp and switch back because their internet experience was lacking. But we have seen some customers being very satisfied with their online experience. It really depends on what your expectations are for an internet banking service. So if you're keen to just keep it really simple, your loan account and your offset account, that's absolutely fine. But if you're wanting to use multiple accounts with debit cards attached and credit cards, maybe a little bit too complex for Suncorp. And as far as customer service goes, let's put it to the test. So guys, we finally got through to them after 2 minutes of selecting all the different numbers to get through to the right channel, and took about 15 minutes to speak to somebody. So not too bad. In comparison, Macquarie so far has probably been my favorite. They took about a minute to actually get through to a person. I mean, look, it all depends on the time of day that you call. If it's during work hours, I find that you can get through relatively quickly. But if it's before and after work hours, because that's obviously when everyone's finishing work and has a time to give the bank a call, that's where I reckon it can blow out to 30 minutes to an hour. So just keep that in mind. So with all that, who is Suncorp good for? Suncorp hands down is a great option for PAYG lendees or people who want to refinance. We've generally found to have a great interest rate, especially if your loan size is more than $750 or $1 million to take advantage of that rebate. No annual fee, multiple offset accounts. In terms of internet banking, not too bad. Generally, I do find the clients who have been with Suncorp for a long period of time, they're normally pretty happy with their internet banking. Whereas if you're going from a bank like CBA to Suncorp, normally I've heard a few complaints. And that covers the Suncorp home loan review. If you have any experiences or questions, feel free to share them in the comments below. And until then, have a mad day.